In another true story, our hero, a 69-year-old retiree named Sadiman, who lived in the village of Budun, Indonesia, will change your perspective on achieving personal goals. 25 years ago, fires broke out on the hills of central Java, incinerating all the settlements nearby and destroying all the vegetation of the region. The rivers and lakes in the area started to run dry, and several years later, the local river and lakes dried up completely. Local authorities could do nothing but shake hands under tables and behind closed doors. Meanwhile, farmers, bankrupt from losses, began to abandon their quaint village of Dali at the base of Mount Lawu. Sadiman, however, flatly refused to leave his native land. When looking at the disaster of such scale, even ecologists said that this place would become arid, like a desert. Sadiman remained hopeful, however. He put on his ranger hat and safari shirt, took a shovel, and began planting trees. Local authorities ignored Sadiman's heroic efforts, believing it was improbable for a lone man to change the situation. The 45-year-old man got up at 6 a.m. and worked with fervor till late at night. No one, including his relatives, supported his endeavors. And even the entreaties of children, who also did not hurry to help their elder, failed to discourage the hard worker from working. A year later, his wife left him. Sadiman strongly felt that if he did not plant banyan trees on the spot, the area would desertify. So he focused daily on planting seedlings. An entire year passed without results. People considered him crazy and excluded him from community councils and get-togethers. When he realized that he had no money left, he still refused to give up. Instead, he traded all his belongings and livestock for tree seeds. Sadiman slept on the concrete floor, ate very little, and over time conditioned himself for hard work, so much so that he wore himself into an old man. He wrote letters to the regional authorities, appealing for their help, but they ignored his requests, even failing to see that any effort could undo the damage caused years before. Still, Sadiman stood committed to his cause. New sprouts of trees from burnt roots and stumps meant tree regeneration, and the sight of this inspired Sadiman to work even harder. After 24 long years of work, Sadiman noticed for the first time the fruits of his work after rainwater began to accumulate in the reservoirs. None of the residents, except Sadiman, knew that the process of restoration of nature had already started. Over the years, Sadiman has planted over 12,000 ficus and banyan trees with his own hands. As a result, Sadiman's forest area grew to an incredible 250 acres. As specialists later found out, this amount of vegetation not only helped to retain groundwater, but also prevented soil erosion. For 2 years, farmers in Java began to harvest crops, and with the new sources of water, grow 2 or even 3 times the number of crops. It was only after that people began to treat Sadiman differently, apologizing for the long years of mistrust and humiliation. Officials caught wind of this, and wishing to capitalize on Sadiman's success, began to brag to journalists that without their help, nothing would have happened. But Sadiman, a modest man, paid them no heed because everyone recognized who the true hero was. He was even elected as village foreman at a local Dali meeting. Only persistent and tenacious people can create real change. This story proves again that even one in the field a soldier because a simple man has created a great cause.